In the 80s, millions of dollars just disappearing.
Yeah.
I mean, a shocking thing to happen.
We had our own airline, Piers. We had 3 airplanes. What are we doing in the airline business? We had our own gas station where everybody else would fill up, and we'd have to get permission to get gas, but all the employees, you know, just free gas. Stuff like that went on and on and on, and money was going out like crazy. We had to go on tour to feed the leak. You know, there was a hole in the money pocket.
Do you know how much money in the end disappeared?
I heard something like $60 million, and back in the 70s, that's a lot.
Disappeared?
Gone. Gone. Bad
I mean,
investment.
changed all your lives.
Well, it did. None of us would have really had to work anymore. We're still out there working, you know.
And as Debbie said, when it all went, you had to sell everything up?
We had to sell every single thing in order not to go bankrupt, because our attorneys told us, you guys have to go bankrupt. You have no other choice. And my dad said, we're going to pay every single debtor, and we did.
Are you a rich man again now, would you say?
I wouldn't say rich. I still got kids to put through college. I don't really have to work if I wanted to live an ultra-conservative life. But no, I'm not rich, no.
As you said, Donny, the family fortune had gone, and you had to make money again.
Yeah.
Let's watch this.
You're a total stranger, but I feel like I know.
In the 80s, Donny tried to recapture the old magic, but things weren't going his way.
I think Donny was very aware that Donny Osmond name on a record was destined for failure.
He worked on a record, it was called Soldier of Love, and he couldn't put it out as Donny Osmond.
Then in 1988, a DJ took matters into his own hands.
This radio station in New York got a hold of the single, and they played it anonymously. Callers kept calling in, what's that song? And it turned everything around.
It was a phenomenon. It got to #2 in the Billboard charts. No one knew it was Donny until it had achieved.
After nearly a decade in the wilderness, Donny was once again pulling heartstrings as a pop star. But he had an old score to settle with Broadway. He took a risk with an iconic role.
Joseph is very challenging. I did it for 2 years, and I remember Donny really needed that break at that time. And he was so cute. He called me up and he said, Jimmy, I know you did that. Is it okay if I do it? And I go, what are you, crazy? Do it.
I closed my eyes, drew back the curtain.
I remember opening night, they just went crazy. After he sang Close Every Door, they just went crazy. He'd worked so hard, and it was a great moment. Sorry. Sorry, didn't mean to cry. Whew.
Suddenly he came back as a star, as Joseph. So he was Donny Osmond playing Joseph, so he could show that there was more to him.
A crash of drums, a flash of light.
The guy's an amazing, amazing singer, and he wasn't used to his full advantage during those teen years.
Donny was back and even played the role on film. It wasn't just his voice that was causing a stir.
My father would spend a lot of time going to the gym quite regularly, which was new for him. Not that he was ever like an overweight guy or anything, but he just was bulking up because he was going to be wearing a loincloth.
My goodness, did he work out. He looked like something out of a Playgirl magazine or something.
But after 2 years pulling in the crowds as Joseph, Donny was struck down with a mystery illness.
Woke up in the middle of the night with just shakes and heart palpitations. I thought at first he was having, a heart attack or something. Went down to the hospital and they basically said, you need a break.
But phoning in sick was not an option.
He had a show the next night, so with a lot of faith and prayers, he got on stage that night and worked through the panic.
It turned out to be more than a one-off case of stage fright.
Didn't realize really what he was suffering until it started to get worse, and it started to happen more often.
After being surrounded by fans all his life, Donny had developed an anxiety disorder called social phobia, a crippling fear of appearing in public.
His therapist told me one time, he said, describe for me what it feels like. She said, it's like being strapped to a railroad track and seeing the train coming and you cannot get off. and you feel like you're going to die. That's how serious it was. So every time he went on stage, he felt that, and there was no way out.
Growing up the way we did, we all have a little bit of that anxiety. And I can remember Donny just curled up and just devastated. And that came from years of pressure.
I mean, another astonishing revelation.